Hello students, good morning everyone. So welcome back to the lecture number 11 of chapter 1 from class 7 mathematics. In all the previous 10 lectures we have discussed about many properties of integers under addition, subtraction as well as multiplication. And today in this class we will discuss about the properties of integers under division. Whether division holds all the rules of integers, then we have to verify whether it does or it doesn't. Okay, so let's start with the first property. Likely the addition and subtraction and the multiplication, the division has also three properties. Okay, what are the properties? The first property is closure property. The first property is closure property. So what is closure property? As I have told you, if A and B are two integers, then you have to prove A plus B is an integer or not. For closure property under addition, you have to prove A into B is an integer or not. For closure property under multiplication, you have to prove whether A minus B is an integer or not under the subtraction. Similarly, in this case, you have to prove whether two integers, when being divided, then the result or the quotient is an integer or not, right? So let us prove. So for this you have to take two integers. Suppose only A value 5, right? And I have chosen B to be 1. Now you can see A is 5 is an integer, B is 1 is also an integer, right? Now let us divide them. A divide B. Okay, that means 5 divide 1. You can write this 5 divided by 1. Okay, 5 is the numerator and 1 is the denominator. Now, what is the value of 5 by 1? It is 5. Now, 5 is an integer or not? Yes, it is an integer. Okay, so here we get that if A and B are two integers, then A divided B is an integer. Okay, let us prove it for some other values of integers, right? Suppose someone choose A to be 5 and B to be 2, right? Now find A divide B. A divide B is equal to 5 divide 2, that means 5 by 2. Now divide 5 with 2, 2 to the 4, 1.0, 2.5 is 10. So your answer is, or your quotient is 2.5. Now tell me whether 2.5 is an integer or not an integer. It is not an integer. Why? Because it is a decimal place. Okay, it is a decimal number and it can be converted into a fractional form like 5 by 2. It is not an integer. So we get that for some value of A and B, though A divided B is an integer, but for different values of A and B, A divided B is not an integer. Okay, that means this A divided B is an integer is not true for all the value of A and B. That is why the division doesn't hold good for closure property. Sethipai division ta closure property ku follow karu nahi. So you can write hence division doesn't follow or hold good, right? Doesn't follow closure property. This is your first property. Okay. So coming to the second one. What is the second property? The second property is commutative property, right? So let's start. The second property, that is commutative property. Now what is commutative property? See, let we have chosen two integers, A to be 4, right, and B to be 2. Now this 4 and 2 are two integers. 4 and 2 दुटा का integer कि नहीं? Integer. So वर्तमान कौन करेगा? Now we will do A divide B. We have to find the value of A divide B. हमें वर्तमान कौन बाहर करेगा? A को B द्वारा divide करके बाहर करेगा कितने होगा? It means 4 divided by 2. After cancellation gives 2 by 1, that is 2. So A divided B का value कितना आया? 2. Let us find b divided a. B divided a means first I have to write the b portion or b and then a. But in the first case, I write the a first, then b. Okay. So here b is 2, divide 4. That is 2 by 4. So when they are being divided, it gives 1 by 2. That is 0.5. After division, you will get this decimal place 0.5. So from this two result, what we get? We get a conclusion that a divided b is equal to or not equal to? No, they are not equal. Is not equal to b divided a. Okay. So what you find? You find the division does not follow also the commutative property. Okay. So the division doesn't follow, right? Which property? Commutative property. So the first two property has been denied by division. So let us check for the third property. Okay. So the name of the third property is what? It is associative property, right? So next one is your associative property. Okay. So for this you have to choose three different values of the integers. Suppose I choose a to be 8, b to be 4, c to be 2. These three are integers. Tinta ko integer ke nahi? Clear? Now we will do what? Now we will find a divide b bracket divide c. Right? So first write 8 divide 4 divide 2. So in this case you have to put bracket over the first two terms. Okay. So you can solve this by using which formula, which law? Badmas rule. Okay. First you have to work for bracket. Next it will be 8 divide 4 ja 2. 2 divide then 2, that is 1. Now find the same thing, but there is an interchange in the bracket. In the first case you have to put bracket over the first two terms. But in this case, you have to put bracket over the second two term, right? So it will be 8 divide 4 divide 2. Okay. So 8 divide 4 divide 2 ja 2. 8 divide 2 ja how much? 8 divide 2 ja how much? 2 1 2 4. That is 4 by 1. That is 4. So here also you get the result of a divide b divide c is 1 and a divide b divide c is 4. That means these two results are not coincident with each other. Hence, you write a divide b divide c is not equal to a divide b divide c. So here also the division does not follow the commutative property. So write hence division doesn't follow which property? Follow the associative property. Okay. Similarly, you can also verify for the distributive property. Okay, in case of distributive property, you have to find whether a divide b plus c is equal to a divide b, then a divide c, and in between them which sign should be used? Plus sign should be used. That means you can also verify whether this is equal to this or this is not equal to this by taking three examples or three integers for a, b and c, right? And there also you find that the division also doesn't follow that distributive property. Fourth property has been denied by the division of integers. Okay. So let us understand some other properties for the operations like division. Okay. So the first property is that whenever a positive integer means suppose plus sign, is divided by another positive integer, okay, then the result is also a positive integer. Okay, जेता गोटे positive integer को हम positive integer द्वारा divide करिवा result हमें भी positive पाइबा बुझियला. So you can write this statement that whenever a positive integer is being divided by another positive integer, then the result is also a positive integer, right? The next rule is rule 2. Whenever a positive integer is divided by a negative integer, then what will be the possible result? Then the possible result is 2 1 2 4 minus 4. So here we get plus, divide plus is plus. Here we get plus divided by negative is negative. As like multiplication. In multiplication also plus into plus is plus. In multiplication also plus into minus is minus. So similarly the division also follow the same procedure, right? So the rule 3, whenever a negative integer, okay, is divided by a positive integer, okay, then the result is what? Then the result is also negative. So you get when a negative integer is divided by a positive integer, the result is negative. Okay. Rule number 4, when a negative integer is divided by another negative integer, then the possible sign of the result is minus minus plus. So divide, whenever two negative numbers are being divided, then their result will be always in positive sign. So these are the basic rules for calculating the division of integers. Okay. So next understood some other properties. Okay. So the next property is whenever, rule number 5, whenever 1 is divided with a integer, okay, suppose 5 is an integer and 5 is divided by 1, then what is the possible value? The possible value is also 5, because when 5 is divided by 1, 1 5 is 5, so the remainder is 0, so the quotient is 5. We have studied when a number is multiplied with 1, we get the same number. Here also the similar case, whenever a number is divided by 1, you get the same number. Okay, so we can write it, whenever a number or whenever an integer is divided by 1, then we get the same number. Okay. Rule number 6, when a number is divided by minus 1, then what will be the possible result? What is the value of 5 into minus 1? Minus 5. We get the same value with opposite sign. Similarly, here also you get the same value with opposite sign. Whenever 5 is divided by minus 1, you get the same numerical value with opposite sign. Okay. Similarly, if you divide minus 7 with minus 1, then what will be the possible value? See, your numerical value will be same. Here also same, here also same. 7 पाइबा दुईटा जगह रे केवल कोन चेंज हबो तनका साइन रे चेंज हेजो एटी -7 थिला एटा कोन हेजो +7 हेजो जदि -10 को डिवाइड करबा का द्वारा -1 द्वारा ताले हम कोन पाइबा देखो माइनस माइनस कोन होय बोले कहथिले माइनस माइनस प्लस हेजो सो हियर आल्सो माइनस माइनस प्लस हेजो तो आंसर कोन पाइबा 10 पाइबा सो कोन हेज देखो केवल साइन ही चेंज हे जाय ओके सो व्हेनेवर अ नंबर इज डिवाइडेड बाय -1 you get the same value with opposite sign. Okay, so when a number is divided by -1, you get the same numerical value. Okay, numerical value with opposite sign. Okay. Similarly, if you divide 0 with 1, then what will be the result? I have told you, if a number is divided by 1 or if a number is multiplied by 1, then you get the same value, that is 0. Okay, so this is the rule number 6. Next is rule number 7. So in rule number 7, it tells you that whenever, this is the rule number 7, whenever 0 is divided by 1, then what is the possible value? The possible value is also 0. Okay, or when 0 is divided by -1, then the possible value is also 0. Okay, this is rule number 7. Next is rule number 8. It tells you that whenever any number, okay, any number is divided by 0, 5 divided by 0, that means 5 by 0. Here 5 is the numerator, 0 is the denominator. Then the result is undefined, or you can say does not exist. Okay, so whenever a number, any number you can take, any integer you can take, is divided by 0, okay, then you cannot solve it. It is undefined, doesn't exist. Okay, if you find the value 1 divided by 0, then also you get undefined. If you find the value 0 divides 0, then also you get undefined. Okay, or you can say does not exist, or you can say infinite. Okay, this is the symbol for infinite. Okay, so 1 by 0 is infinite, 2 by 0 is infinite, 5 by 0 is infinite, -10 by 0 is infinite. Understood? These are the basic 8 properties of division. You can follow these properties in order to calculate the division of integers, right?